Welcome to our latest update on the top current affairs topics as of January 20th, 2025. From the snowy peaks of Davos to the halls of power in Washington and New Delhi, we've got a lot to cover today. Let's dive into the most significant events shaping our world today. The annual pilgrimage to Davos is underway, with world leaders, business titans, and influential thinkers converging on this small Swiss town. They brave the cold and the challenging terrain of the Swiss Alps to attend the World Economic Forum, a gathering that has become synonymous with global dialogue and decision-making. This year's theme, Cooperation in a Fragmented World, underscores the urgency of addressing global challenges. From the pressing issue of climate change to the deepening crisis of economic inequality, the forum aims to foster collaboration. India, a rising power on the global stage, has taken a prominent role this year. Prime Minister Modi has outlined ambitious plans for sustainable development and clean energy, signaling India's commitment to a greener future. Behind the scenes, CEOs are forging new partnerships and alliances, seeking to drive innovation and growth in their respective industries. Investors are keenly observing market trends and seeking lucrative opportunities to maximize their returns. Meanwhile, policymakers from around the world are engaging in intense discussions, trying to find common ground on critical issues that affect us all. The stakes are high and the world is watching. The International Labour Organization's World Employment and Social Outlook report paints a grim picture. Global unemployment remains high, fueled by geopolitical tensions and the lingering effects of the pandemic. The ILO calls for urgent investment in education, skills training, and social safety nets to create a more equitable future of work. In a significant breakthrough, Israel and Hamas have reached a peace agreement, ending weeks of violence in Gaza. This historic deal marks a pivotal moment in the long-standing conflict, bringing a glimmer of hope to the region. The deal, brokered by Egypt and the United States, includes a ceasefire, easing of the blockade, and prisoner release. These measures aim to alleviate the humanitarian crisis and build a foundation for lasting peace. The international community has welcomed the agreement, but challenges remain in reconstructing Gaza and fostering trust. Efforts will focus on rebuilding infrastructure, providing aid, and ensuring that both sides adhere to the terms. The coming days will be critical in determining whether this ceasefire holds and paves the way for broader peace negotiations. Observers are cautiously optimistic, but the situation remains fragile and requires constant vigilance. The Indian state of Uttarakhand is set to implement a uniform civil code, sparking both praise and controversy. The UCC aims to replace personal laws based on religion with common rules for marriage, divorce, inheritance, and adoption. Proponents argue it will promote gender equality, while critics express concerns about infringing on religious freedom. Good news for India's salaried class. The Employees Provident Fund Organization, or EPFO, has announced updates to make retirement savings more accessible. Key changes include the removal of contribution limits and the introduction of PF withdrawals via ATMs. These reforms are part of a broader effort to modernize India's social security system and ensure financial security for retirees. The Zimor Tunnel in Jammu and Kashmir has been inaugurated, promising to transform connectivity in the region. The tunnel provides year-round access to the picturesque Kashmir Valley, even during harsh winter months. This improved connectivity is expected to boost tourism, create jobs, and strengthen India's defense capabilities. India has distributed over 6.5 million property cards under the Swamitva scheme across 10 states. This program aims to provide clear ownership titles to residents of rural areas, unlocking economic potential. With clear ownership titles, villagers can access bank loans and secure property rights. The Swamitva scheme aligns with Prime Minister Modi's vision of inclusive growth, empowering marginalized communities. Trump returns a second act in the Oval Office. Donald Trump has been sworn in for a second non-consecutive term as President of the United States. This historic event marks a rare occurrence in American politics, as only one other president, Grover Cleveland, has achieved this feat. His return has sent shockwaves through the global political landscape, with world leaders guessing about his foreign policy priorities. Many are speculating whether his approach will be more aggressive or diplomatic this time around. The coming months will reveal whether Trump's second act will be marked by cooperation or confrontation on the world stage. Observers are keenly watching his moves, anticipating how his leadership will shape international relations and domestic policies. Protecting young minds, U.S. tightens social media rules. The U.S. enacts new social media privacy laws to protect children and teenagers online. Significant provisions require parental consent for minors to create social media accounts and safeguard the earnings of child influencers. These regulations reflect a growing awareness of the impact of social media on mental health, privacy, and online safety. Protecting India's wildlife crackdown on Benami transactions. Authorities in Madhya Pradesh are cracking down on illegal land acquisitions in the state's tiger reserves. The government is taking swift action, attaching properties acquired through fraudulent means under the Benami Transactions Prohibition Act. These efforts are crucial for the survival of India's iconic wildlife and preserving the ecological balance of these vital ecosystems. Outro: stay informed, stay engaged. That's all for today's top current affairs topics. Stay informed, stay engaged, and keep asking the tough questions. Thank you for watching.